I'm Dr. George Flynn, and welcome to In-Depth TV. You know, we've discussed a lot of things on In-Depth TV. We've discussed things that affect men, women, children, our social lives and our work lives. But this topic affects everyone. You, me, everyone. Our social network, our church friends, our work friends. It affects everyone. And that topic is sleep. That's right, I said sleep. Now, some people have a very easy time of going to sleep. Some people have a very difficult time of going to sleep. And we're going to talk about the necessity of sleep. During the pandemic, we have a lot of people that are together as families, and they're staying together quite a bit because, people aren't going to work or they're working from home. Kids aren't going to school. It's just a stressful situation where you're together all the time. And the stressful situation is nobody has their normal routine, their normal rhythm, their normal circadian rhythm, we'll call it. Well, we have a challenge with sleep. Now, part of that is because people don't have much to do. They can't go out with their friends and in groups. So what do they usually wind up doing? Now, you know the answer before I tell you. Most people, kids especially, wind up on some kind of electronic device, a screen. To the point is, most of the screen makers, whether it's iOS or Android or Google or Windows, or most of them have a screen time monitor built into those. And that's because they were asked to develop that so that others could hold people that are on their screens somewhat accountable. And the reason people are on their screens, it's very addictive being on that screen because a lot's happening. You're engaged, you're part of it, you're involved, especially with the games. You're getting all of your neurotransmitters fired up because you're in the game. And yet you're just sitting there pushing buttons. But mentally, you're in the game. Physically, you're not. So mentally, you can be tired, whereas physically, you're not so tired. So you try to go to sleep, but you're somewhat unable to go to sleep. Now, there are a lot of factors to this. One of the big factors is the screen itself. I don't know if you've ever done this. If you ever waked up in the middle of the night and wanted to see the weather, the temperature, what the latest news was, or I've done it. And you wake up in the middle of the night and you look at your screen and then you realize, I'm wide awake. I can't go to sleep. Partially, I say partially, that is due to, yes, your mental facilities are up and going and revved up, and you're looking for all the bad things, all the bad news, and once you see it, you go on high alert, no matter if you want to or not. If the bad news is happening 20,000 miles away, you still go on high alert. But another smaller factor is the screen itself. The screen has basically a sort of a bluish light to it, a bluish background to it. And that's been shown to activate your visual senses, and it brings them up. You're more aware, you're more awake, you're more ready with that blue tint. Some screen companies, some device makers have developed a nighttime tint. It's kind of a yellowish tint, and it's not supposed to wake you up as much. But whether you have this or not, you need to develop a routine of going to bed. And I know, a lot of people in my profession, doctors and nurses and people that are working, and lawyers, and a lot of people pride themselves on getting only 2 to 3 hours sleep a night. Now that is probably not the healthiest thing in the world. The healthiest thing, and you've heard it for years and years, get 8 hours of sleep. 8 hours of sleep. And if you can't, the minimum is 6 hours. Get 6 hours of sleep. And I mean 6 hours of good sleep, not 6 hours of tossing and turning, 6 hours of relaxation, of sleep that helps you rejuvenate and renew. It's part of life. I mean, if you don't get the right amount of sleep for you, the next day you don't have the right amount of energy for you. And you don't have the right amount of serotonin and epinephrine and norepinephrine and all the hormones. You don't have the right amount to be in a good mood. And therefore, everything gets messed up, and it can all start with having a routine of when you go to bed. Now, I started out with when you go to bed. Try to go to bed the same time every night. It's going to take about 14 to 21 days to get into that habit of going to bed the same time every night. Once you get in the habit, yes, you can break it once or twice if you have to, but if you don't have to, don't break it. But if you have to, get right back on your schedule the next night, or at least the following night. So don't break it more than 2 days in a row. Here we go. We're getting ready for bed. Let's say your bedtime is, pick a time. It can be 8, 9, 10, 11, whenever it is. Remember, you're going to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep from the time you go to bed. So we're going to want to fall asleep as rapidly as we can. One of the main things to do is have a routine, a ritual to get ready for bed. Now, whether it's getting a hot cup of tea, I don't suggest coffee, tea, Cokes, or chocolate because they have a lot of caffeine in them. Decaf is okay. But the caffeine is designed to wake you up. Now, I hear people talk about, can I have my milk and cookies? Well, of course you can have your milk and cookies. No more than 2. No more than 2 cookies. But if you need that for a routine, and that's a routine you learn from childhood, that's okay. But your body needs to settle down, and you need to get ready to go to prepare like it's going to a party. This is prepare like it's going to work. You're going to work. Prepare like you're going to church. Have a preparation mode. Start taking it easy. Start winding down. Maybe turn off the news. The worst thing you can do is have that news on right before you go to bed, because you're going to think about it all night long, probably. But we're going to help by turning off all of the stimuli. They'll be there tomorrow. The newspaper, the news, the TV, the bad news, it'll all be there tomorrow. You don't need to. You're asleep. You can't do anything about it. So let's not try to take that to bed with us. So what you do is you relax. Take about 30 minutes of just relaxation. If you want to read a funny book or you want to just enjoy sitting there, learning to meditate, that is not a bad idea. We usually don't even think about meditation, but learning to meditate is not a real bad idea. And there are plenty of videos and books on how to meditate. And kids can learn to meditate. Just learn to turn your mind off. Focus on something that is, make sure you're in bed or you're getting ready to go to bed. You're not driving a car. Make sure you're not in a dangerous place. But learn to meditate. Maybe 5 minutes. Some people like it so much they like to meditate an hour. But meditation does not take the place of sleep. So go ahead and learn to calm down. Let your blood pressure calm down. Let everything in your body calm down in preparation for an activity that you should spend about a third of your life doing. There was an old song years ago, I work 8 hours, I play 8 hours, and I sleep 8 hours or something like that. No, it's work 8 hours, sleep 8 hours, and I have 8 hours for fun. So that kind of thing, you need that 8 hours of sleep so that you can do the other things. And I know a lot of people say, I just have to get all of this done. I've got too much to do. If you are like that, you'll find that without sleep, you get much less efficient at learning, at doing things, at writing papers, at preparing reports, at preparing anything for the next day. You become much less efficient. And what I'd like for you to do is, you've got that term paper to do. I'm talking to the students now, or the people in some kind of graduate school or some kind of course or study. Do it early. Don't stay up all night trying to cram it in the last minute. And I remember cramming for exams. And you just don't remember that much. I'm sorry, I wish it worked that way, but it doesn't. Getting that routine amount of sleep, preferably 8 hours, at the very minimum 6 hours. So let's plan to do that so that you will be in a good mood, you'll be full of energy, you'll be ready to go, and you'll have a very good day. And the good day doesn't start when you wake up. The good day starts when you go to bed. The good day starts when you get ready for sleep and have that 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, preferably 8 hours. Now, I backed off. I said, okay, 6 is probably okay. You would do better with 8. And I hope you're telling your kids, if you're an adult listening to this, I hope you're telling your kids 8 hours of sleep. And please don't have any electronic media in the bedroom, because you could go into your child's room just to check on them and find them on their screen at 3 in the morning. Now, they're not going to be, kids will show it much better than adults. We can sort of hide it with coffee and all of that stuff. But please, let's keep the kids, have them have the opportunity to have that 8 hours of sleep with no electronic devices in their rooms during the nighttime activities. So nighttime activities mean go to bed, go to sleep, wake up, then you can turn on all your stuff. Then you can get all the bad news and all the stuff that you want, but not at nighttime. That's your time. That's your time. You have worked, you have taken care of everyone else all day long. You have taken care of kids, you've prepared meals, you've driven people to places, and kids, you have done your stuff. You've done your homework, you've gone to school, you've paid attention. This is your reward. You get a nice, good night's sleep. This is for you. This is not for anyone else. This is your time for your body to grow, if you're a child, for you to relax, for you to bring all of your vital functions, your blood pressure, your heart rate, all of your worrisome activities. Time to draw the curtain on those, let those rest and relax, because the world will get along without you. 6 to 8 hours, it'll be okay. But I want you to make sure that you take care of yourself by getting the proper amount of sleep. I'm Dr. George Flynn, and I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate getting to talk with you for just a few minutes, and I hope you have a good night's sleep. Thank you.